Hey, and welcome to Geopolitics 411. And today we're doing a trend of the week, rather just highlighting the stories that have been trending throughout the week, from Kenya to West Africa to the world at large, just so that we understand what is going on around the world. In case you missed the news, don't worry, because this is where you'll get it all. So of course, due to the fact that I'm Kenyan, proudly so by that matter, we start home. And the key story that has happened this week, and I think for the last, say, 2-3 months now, is a story on abductions. I mean, Kenyans by now, if you've not heard, there's many Kenyans who've been abducted, especially those who've been critiquing the government for various reasons, be it posting AI images, be it writing things that maybe the government is not happy about. People have been abducted. We even did a story of a young man, Billy Mwangi, who was abducted and went missing for about 15 days, but was released after a serious public outcry. However, the story I'm highlighting now is not about that kind. The story I'm highlighting is about a lady called Grace Njoki Mulei. Grace, you wouldn't believe this, was abducted in a hospital. Like, Grace had gone to a hospital to get bookings for a knee surgery in a hospital in Isli in Nairobi, Kenya. And the cops decide, you know what, this lady deserves to be abducted. And of course, I know you are wondering what's the reason. A week earlier, Grace had stormed a press conference that was being carried out by the Cabinet Secretary of Health at the Afya House. And she and other patients walked in because they were so frustrated that the system that had been introduced, the health insurance system that was introduced, which here in Kenya is called SHA, was not working. And they had been told to come today, come tomorrow, the system is down. So they couldn't get their processing for their cards. So out of that frustration, they walked into a presser that was happening just a few meters away from Kenyatta National Hospital where they were, to where the CS for Health was addressing the press. And due to this walking in, the government, or I don't know who is, okay, we assume it's the government because it's the cops who went for her. The cops, or whoever sent the cops, was not happy. And so what did they do? They decided to arrest her and send her to Capitol Hill Police Station because, and what you want to know what the charges were? Yeah, causing disturbance. Like someone just going to highlight something that is not working, not just for her, like for Kenyans in general, because this health system is for everyone. Someone coming out and calling the government out of it and telling them, yo, this system is not working. And even Kenyatta National Hospital, which is where they had experienced problems, gave a statement the following day and apologized and said there was a system downtime, but everything had been sorted. But just a few days later, someone decides, no, you're maybe shaming the country, or you are doing it and we are not happy. And so they arrested her. There was an outcry overnight and today morning, and people had actually just planned to have a demonstration, but I think maybe the government saw it was going to get worse, and guess what? They released her today with 10,000 Kenya shillings bond. And when they released her, the police actually say they don't know what to charge her with. So one wonders, as a policeman, when you come to arrest me, how do you arrest me and you don't know what I'm being charged on? Or like, don't you do something just to be sure you're arresting the right person? Maybe this is just my thinking. However, we are happy that we made noise and Grace is out and she's safe and sound, and we actually wish her well because she was unwell. I think even the patients' charter, not just in the Kenyan patients' charter, I think there is a UN patients' charter deserves that. I don't think anyone deserves to be abducted from a hospital where they are seeking something to do with their health. That was so wrong. That was primitive, and I am hoping as a country we can do better with that. Yeah? That's it. That has been the abduction story of Kenya this week. So I'm hoping this is the last one, because now I think every day we are hearing of abductions, and this, please, government, makes this the last one. It's enough. It's enough now. Just sort the mess that people are highlighting and maybe learn to take criticism. It will help you fix the systems. Anyway, that's it for the Kenyan story, key story. Our neighbors, South Sudan, a few days ago, banned all social media all social media access. So why South Sudan officials announced that they will require telecommunications company to restrict access to social media for a minimum of 30 days and a maximum of 90 days. So that's a month to 3 months. I wonder if this can happen in some countries. I mean, in the US, they tried banning TikTok. And immediately, not even just a few hours before Trump came in, it was restored because everyone knows technology is what is being used nowadays, and we are in an age where it's inevitable. However, South Sudan says because there is a war that is happening, there's a lot of grave images and images of people who are maybe suffering disturbing content, basically, that's being shared and circulated about the ongoing violence between South Sudan individuals and their neighboring Sudan. So what they decided is to have a temporary restriction, which may be extended. But I don't think that's a solution, as for me. I feel like you're just covering up, throwing it under the carpet, and then you, after 30 days, maybe you come back and tell people, okay, fine, the images. Who tells you those images will not be circulated after 30 days, or 60, or 90 days? Also, we don't deserve, I think people deserve to know what is happening if we are really to fix ourselves as a continent. Because hiding it, you're just postponing a problem. Because these things will be shared, not today, not tomorrow, maybe next week. So if that goes on, then what happens? Will you ban social media for life? Are you sure in the current world that's how you want to run a country? That, I think, is a very, what they call the Lulu solution. I think you need to do better. And the better thing here is to end the war, rather than banning a space, the digital space, because images are being shared. Images will be shared across, and that's it. And if anything, look at how Trump carried out his campaign. TikTok was one of the things he made sure he campaigned on. And I think even in terms of access to information, it's a space where everyone needs to know, has a right to access information, and this is also a universal right. So I think that's something that maybe our neighbors should consider or reconsider and just try to find a way of working around it. So that's it for the area of South Sudan. And our other neighbors down there on the map, or down the continent, that is in South Africa. South Africa, we've had a very, very sad story where 87 miners died in South Africa amid a standoff between the police and, guys, or I don't know how to call them, but people who controlled the mines. What happened is the government decided a lot of these miners were immigrants from Zimbabwe and surrounding nations. So what the government decided, because they were illegal, they wanted to get them out. And so what they did, they stopped the supply of food and water since last year, somewhere in November. So for 3 months, these guys, because they did not want to come out and face the law, or come out, be deported, or even face whatever action the government was to take, they decided they're not coming out. Imagine a government banning supply because those humans will come out. I think maybe they should have experimented that for a month. No, I mean, maybe a day, 2 days. When you realize these people are not coming out, I think humanity is more, give these people food and find a way of negotiating to get them out. Now, as we speak, we are at 87 people died because of that. I mean, that death toll should just tell you, I feel like as humanity, we've lost it, and we continue to lose it because we have put other things ahead of humanity itself. So we send our condolences to the people of South Africa and relatives and anyone whose probably relative friend was part of this. I mean, these are people who went out because maybe this was their bread and butter. This was their hustle. So imagine someone has pushed themselves to that level to even allow themselves to be under a mine for days and days, looking for gold and actually minerals, which at the end of the day don't even benefit them per se, because these things end up being exported. And because the government feels otherwise, I think governments should have a better way of treating human beings, even if they're immigrants. That's just my feeling. But yeah, that is what has happened in South Africa this week, and it's really unfortunate that we would be comfortable when such a thing happens. And yeah, we wish at least the ones who were recovered alive, though malnourished, We wish them quick recovery, and we hope that the government of South Africa would find a better way of working that out. Our very good neighbors, Tanzania, right here, they're going to elections in October this year. And with that, of course, there's a lot of campaigns going on. I mean, when I say these Kenyans, you know, like here in Kenya, it's like we're always on campaign mode, even immediately after elections. Even now, our elections are in 2027. But I think we have a more heated campaign than Tanzania, who have elections in October. Anyway, that was not the story. Tundu Lissu, this guy was has been in opposition for long enough, and actually even went to exile for quite a long time, and only came back when the former president, John Pombe Magufuli, passed on. So Lissu came back home, and with that coming back home, he's just been elected as the Chadema chairman ahead of the election. And I think Tanzania is going to get hotter as the months get by because of that election. But that's one, I think he's probably going to be the candidate also for that Chadema party. Of course, Suluhu is also running, so let's just watch and see how that goes. Suluhu goes with the Chama Cha Mapinduzi, which is like the main party in Tanzania for now. Maybe there are other changes that shall come, but that's it. So that's just a highlight from TZ. Another key highlight across Africa, which I think is shaking ground, is the Sahel region. Sahel region is this juntas who decided we were tired with the way the countries were being run, and so they led coups and they came into power. So these juntas of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have actually decided, you know what, they formed their alliance. Now this alliance has decided it is time to have passports of our own region. Yeah, they are ready to have Sahel passports, and soon they want to launch them in what they're calling it, the new biometric passports. This was announced by the Mali military, Assimi Goïta, the guy in charge now, and that's, I think, something that's going to shake that region, especially the ECOWAS members, because they had given them a chance of 6 months to rethink if they want to go back to ECOWAS, because they were told ECOWAS cannot work with leaders who have taken over via coup. So I think for ECOWAS, that is something to watch out for, because if this region then becomes stable, I don't know how that is going to be. But yeah, that's it. Remember just the other week, Burkina Faso's president was celebrated so much when he went to Ghana for the inauguration of their new president. So you can see Africa's young population is actually watching what is happening across African nations. And with this opening, I don't know, that's a very pretty interesting development. Something else that the Sahel region has said they'll do is they're ready to form a 5,000 troop military unit that consists, of course, of the 3 members. And this unit is supposed to help fight the jihadist violence that has for years plagued the nations. I think the whole of West Africa generally, this is their biggest problem. And officials have now decided, as Sahel, we need to protect ourselves, since maybe with ECOWAS membership pulled out, then they won't access a lot. Number 2, they will also, due to the fact that these countries sent away the juntas and they sent away the people who used to help them. There was France and other countries that were in. They were sent away. So they are now on their own, but there is news that a lot of these countries want to collaborate with Russian army. So probably that's something that they will work with. So, and they said, their statement says that in this common space, our forces will be able to intervene together. Niger defense minister is the one who gave this report, citing that the 5,000 strong is nearly ready. So this unified force will not only have its own personnel, but aerial, ground, and intelligence means, and an air coordination system. So very interesting to hear these developments that have come up in the Sahel region. And finally, across the globe, the biggest story has been the story of the swearing in of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Yeah, Trump was sworn in on the 20th of this month as president. And of course, being Trump sworn in, he came with a lot of vigor, and you know, the whole event was such It was interesting. However, I think we had less people because they had to do it indoors because of the weather. But it was interesting to note that Obama, for the second time, showed up in a public event not in the company of his wife, Michelle Obama. I don't know if you guys have seen the rumor that has been going on about the two, but anyway, you can share your comment. You can tell me in the comment section, do you think that rumor is true? I don't know. But it would be really sad because these are people we have really watched and admired, and I don't know, maybe we just had our own expectations. They gave us good books. They led the US. Anyway, this is not about Obama at this moment. It's about Trump. Trump signed a lot of these executive orders, and I think the main one was, some of the main ones, the key ones that the world is talking about is the issue of immigrants. I mean, Trump has said, if you know you are an illegal person, it is about time you go back to where you came from. I don't know why they imagine that America is actually their own land, because if you read the history, most of these people are actually also immigrants. But anyway, we wish anyone who's there, we are praying for you and hope that you are able to find your way and survive, because at the end of the day, it's a global world and everyone can live anywhere. But make your papers right so you don't get yourself in that. Something else that is very key and big is that he said in his speech that he's only going to recognize the existence of just two genders, male and female. So the alphabet team is, I don't know how they're going to survive with that. Pretty interesting times, by the way, for Trump, because that was unexpected, let me just say so. And something else that is very key, and even that is being spoken about in Africa, is the idea of having the US exit from the World Health Organization. So why they want to exit the World Health Organization? One, Trump says they put in a lot of resources and get so little. Number two, he feels China's population, which is 3 times America's population, is getting more, and yet China contributes less. So this raises the question, is it a war of, are they trying to show like we are superpower, we are not? That's an interesting story. By the way, you can watch that. We had that analysis here on this channel. And something else that is going to affect about exit of WHO is because Africa generally gets a lot of funding that helps in the HIV and AIDS management issues through World Health Organization, among other programs that happen. So that's a story that's sad to accept. I don't know, it's not yet official because it takes about a year to exit World Health Organization, and also the Congress has to vote on that matter, so it's something to watch out for. But yeah, generally that's it, and it's interesting to see how the second term of Trump will be, because this man is himself. He also promised to end the wars in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. We're also watching to see if that ends. I mean, it's Donald Trump, so it's a wait and see what happens, but basically that has been the highlight of the week in terms of politics across the globe. And you can also share something that happened. In case we missed something that is, was major, just share with us in the comments section. Thank you for watching to this, and see you on the next episode. The world is fast-paced and sometimes you miss the action. What perspectives do you have? What is the truth? Is the world at war? Join me, Sarah Mwangi, as we make sense of the information overload.